It was in late 2019 when the world first reported a virus that was later on named as COVID-19, which almost virtually put the world on a standstill. It was a global sort of lockdown when the world stopped almost all sort of transportation from across borders, and in fact, people were locked inside their houses. The whole idea of dealing with this health crisis was something that was not known. It was happening at a time of which was believed to be a civilization crisis because it was happening something after 100 years of Spanish flu. So clearly, world did not have much of idea how to deal with it. But so far, in the last years, we have seen the effect of this pandemic waning out. But still, the reason why did this whole pandemic happen and how did it start, that remains a mystery. And there has been a lot of attempt to find out the reason that could have been why this pandemic started, where from it started, and how did it spread all across the world. Wuhan was the first place where this virus was first reported, and since then it has been reported whether it was just a natural course of action where virus which is still believed to be residing in bat then went to some other intermediary animal species and then jumped into human species and then became that catastrophically damaging, or whether it was just some lab experiment happening for the basic for the some research purposes that went awry and that went wrong, and the virus got leaked from the lab and it created this whole damage that the world witnessed over the last 2 3 years. So China has been very close, very tight in revealing or letting the access of its laboratory to any investigator, independent investigator, and also the officials of World Health Organization who wanted to have a visit, a physical, assessment of Chinese laboratory were denied access initially, but later on, after much of pressure mounting on China to let the fact team find its way and let them have access to all those spaces, China did allow certain number, very limited number of World Health officials, and very limited physical access were given to them. And still, it could not be established whether this lab leak theory is the real theory and is the real reason why this whole pandemic has started. But now, recently, United States Energy Department has said that there could be a possibility, with low confidence, that this whole virus saga started with an experimental lab and the virus leaked from that lab. This whole energy department is also responsible for high-end biological development or research labs across the world, obviously, and this is why this ministry is reporting this data that it could be very well a possibility that Chinese side or some Chinese laboratory was experimenting with this virus, and this virus got leaked and then could not be controlled for a very long time, and we see the kind of damage, the kind of catastrophe it brought to the whole world, where almost 7 million people have died. The virus is still raging at some place, sometime across the world. In fact, China was recently reeling under the highest number of COVID cases after the lifting of lockdown that has happened in China. So still the virus is not totally controlled or curbed across the world, but the mystery, where did this all begin and how did all this begin, still remains very much same. And the theories, the investigation reports continues to bring forth the theories that could be possibly very close to defining or establishing the fact that how did this whole virus came in being and how did this whole virus spread across the world.